a lot of good things to learn from and move on from. Again, that was year 22 of coaching for me, and that was one of the most electric atmospheres I've ever been a part of. And thank you to App Nation for showing up, been loud, and cheering us on the whole game through. And we've turned our attention to Texas A&M for a 2:30 Eastern Time kickoff, and we'll go from there. Questions?
David Ware, 24/7 Sports. Sean, can you give us an injury update? I guess maybe in particular Brendan Harrington, and I think I saw Dalton Stroman also come out of the game. Anything in particular on those two guys this morning?
No, they were back yesterday. Brendan, he's sore, very sore, with a growing injury, but nothing that it can't be ready before Saturday. And Dalton Stroman has a lower leg injury, but we expect him back. He was practicing yesterday.
Anyone else that I'm overlooking?
Not right now.
Okay. You mentioned after the game on Saturday, priority one Sunday morning was coming in, assessing what went on defensively and addressing some of the things that needed to get fixed there. What was the conclusion to that staff discussion?
Well, on the positive side, they played very hard, and we had 3 sacks. But on the bad part, we had terrible eye discipline. We didn't tackle very well. We misfit a lot of the runs, explosive runs, that we have to get prepared, get fixed now, or else it's going to be a long football season. But I know our defensive staff and I were here early Sunday morning to make sure those things were addressed. Our defensive players know they didn't play the standard of App State football, and we came back yesterday. We were very candid about it, and we watched the tape as a defensive staff with our players, and there's no doubt in my mind that they'll bounce back from that performance.
This was my perception, but it seemed like after halftime I saw a lot more inside blitzing coming out of the linebacker group, and it actually worked. May's numbers were very different second half versus first half. Was that something that you guys discussed at halftime? Was that an intentional shift? Did I actually see what I thought I saw?
Yeah, you have to try to find some way to get pressure on the quarterback, especially with a player like Drake May. So get him off a spot and make him throw it faster. And instead of bringing the edge pressure with Coach Jones and the staff dialed up some middle pressures, and it got to him. But again, when you pressure, you have to make sure you fit your gaps right. And when you bring pressure, you don't fit it right, then that's a recipe for disaster. And those big plays when we did pressure, we didn't fit right, and it was a disaster.
On the offensive side of the ball, obviously a lot to like there in terms of production, but I'm sure there were things that you guys went back and kind of scrutinized after the fact. What were the opportunities for growth that you saw offensively?
Well, we didn't score any points in the third quarter, and that was disappointing. We had 1 pick. Again, that was disappointing. Our goal was to end every possession with a kick, and we did not do that. But, again, credit to the linebacker from North Carolina. He made a great play. We have to make sure we get that substitution. There was one time in a substitution situation we had to burn a timeout on that we can't do that, and we were trying to get up there quick and look what the defense wanted to give us and change the play, but we subbed. And when you're in that situation, you can't do that, and that's something we learned from. Learn from that mistake and move on. But I'm overall pleased with the offense. I mean, we scored 9 touchdowns, 3 right off the bat, and he scored 40 points in the fourth quarter, which I've done this for a long time. I've never done that before. And just as our team, this is a team game. Our team never stopped fighting. We fought to the very end, so I'm very proud of them for doing that.
Moving on to Texas A&M, I'm sure you've had some level of review to go on there. Offensively, just watching a little bit of that game from them on Saturday, at least structurally, it looked a little bit like Carolina's offense, same kind of RPO action, big, tall receivers outside, a strong arm quarterback. What's the initial review on them on that side of the ball?
Good.
Defensively, they also pitched a shutout. Same answer there? Or?
Again, they have some. I'm not going to get any kind of explanation, but they recruit at the highest level in college sports, and Coach Fisher's done an outstanding job for the last 3 or 4 years he's been there, and they have great playmakers. They have an exceptional offense, defense, or schematically they give you a lot of tough situations on both offense and defense, and we have our work cut out for us. But their guys are excited to go down there to the College Station. If you haven't been there before, it's an outstanding place to play a college football game, and we're on ESPN again for the 2nd week in a row, and our kids are looking forward to it, and we're excited for this opportunity.
Chris Womack, WLOS. Coach, you were really emphatic in your support and defense of Chase after the game on Saturday. In such a short period of time, what strengthened the bond and respect from your end that quickly?
Well, I'm very supportive of all of our players in our football program. They're my guys. And so, but in directly to Chase, I mean, I just know he put his heart and his soul into this game, this program for the last 2 years. And I want to make sure our fans, everyone around this program knows that he gives his all for Appalachian State. And as long as he's our quarterback, he's going to have my full support. And again, you could say it was a bad throw, bad catch, and that's on the head football coach for calling the 2-point play. If I had to do it over again, I'd do the same thing over again. But, Chase Brice is a phenomenal leader, phenomenal young man, and we're going to keep supporting him as long as I'm here.
You already addressed this while I was setting up. I apologize for being late.
It's going to cost you a cheeseburger.
Well, blame 221. What was the biggest difference? You started off so strong on defense, holding them to 7 points, and then what was the biggest change? Was it schematics? Was it execution?
It was execution. I mean, our kids played extremely hard, and they were trying to do the right things. But in our defense, if you don't fit your gaps exactly right, that's not a good recipe. And again, we had some guys going left, some guys going right. We had terrible eyes in the back end. The one touchdown they scored to go up there at the end, if we have our eyes on the right man, it's probably a sack, and the whole game has changed. So just in college football, if you don't play exceptional with your eyes, then you're going to have issues on the back end when you're playing defense.
David Rogers, High Country Sports. You had 7 players, including Chase Brice, that rushed the ball on the ground. 11 players receiving the ball, receiving passes. Tell me about the significance of that for the diversity for you offensively to have that many weapons to throw the ball to. And I guess a follow-up to that is your utilization of a former high school quarterback in Anderson Castle with the Wildcat package.
Yeah, it's. I think Coach Barbe does a really good job of spreading the football around. And our kids believe in Coach Barbe. I was going to tell you to turn your mic over. I saw I was laughing there, so sorry about that. Hey, man, you can't have fun with each other. Why not? But Coach Barbe's done a great job of spreading things around. And, we rushed the ball for 288 yards, and 5 different running backs touched the football. And Chase had a few scrambles there. And on the outside, I mean, Coach Dalsey has done a phenomenal job of getting those guys ready to play. And last year we played 4 or 5 receivers. This year we're playing 8 and 9 receivers. And I think you look at it toward the end of the football game, our kids were fresh. And that was one of the things we went into the game. How can we keep it fresh? How can we get our guys fresh in the fourth quarter? And by playing the different guys, it makes a difference. It makes a difference in how you practice. Our kids know they're going to play, so they practice harder. So we'll keep doing that. I think it's going to pay dividends for us down the road when we get into conference play, the guys with playing experience that can come in and make plays for us.
Sean, I guess there's some pretty prominent head coaches in FBS that have some West Virginia ties, and I know your staff has them. Do you have any sort of West Virginia connected ties to Coach Fisher, or maybe just kind of speak to the success that area has and the influence it's had in college football?
Yeah, there's been a lot of great football players, football coaches that come from West Virginia, and Jimbo Fisher, Nick Saban, several others throughout the coaching profession. And it's I don't know Coach Fisher on a personal level, but I look forward to meeting him this weekend and chopping it up a little bit about the great state of West Virginia, I guess.